Hello and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Jake, I'm your host, and here is a podcast where we look at different concepts in English and different words for you to learn, and hopefully you improve your vocabulary with me. Today we're going to be looking at how certain English speakers greet one another, how some different people greet one another, and some of these I don't use because they're from different parts of the country. So just before I begin, welcome, and if you're new to the podcast, then you may not know that we have a Patreon community. It's just starting up, and actually it's actually at 2 now. I didn't expect anyone to join just yet, but thank you to Begonia and Eigen, I don't know how to say that, or Eigen, for joining. That's really, really exciting. On Patreon you can check out all the transcripts for all the episodes. So welcome to you two for joining the podcast on there. If you want to see that, then the link will be in the show notes somewhere. Why not comment and say hi wherever you are? If you're on Spotify or if you're on YouTube, comment and let's see what kind of greetings you come up with, and maybe at the end we'll see if you've learned any more as well. That's for everyone, of course. So let me just get started with it, because it'll only be a quick one today, I think. So as you noticed, I said hello, which is really, really basic. Everybody knows hello. Essentially, it's the most important one. It's very worldwide renowned. If you want to shorten it down, you already know it probably. You shout hi, and it's a little bit more informal, of course. But before we get to informal, let's start with more kind of like neutral, kind of polite, or more formal. So obviously you can say good morning to people. That's fine as well. If you don't know what time of day it is, of course you do. You kind of just go, if it's kind of between maybe like 5 and up to 12 o'clock, you can say morning, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You get the idea. But you can also just take off the good and just say morning, or afternoon, or evening. All those work in more even informal settings. Like if you're going for a job interview, you can say morning, how are you? How are things going? Or afternoon, the train journey was alright here. If you put good on the front, it's a lot more formal. So if that's the way you want to go, that's great as well. How do you do? You've probably heard of this, and maybe you've been taught that it's very common that people say, hello, how do you do? It's not very common these days, but it is common, I guess, in formal situations. But I personally use it very often, and I was taught that if you use it when you meet someone, and a lot of people will say, hello, nice to meet you, whereas I was taught you don't know if it's nice to meet them yet. So I often now will shake someone's hand and I'll say, hello, how do you do? Oh, that's my phone going off. Sorry, my watch. Yeah, I'll meet someone, I'll say, how do you do? I'll just say it. If it's someone I'm meeting for the first time, and I don't think that's strange, because I don't know that person, and I guess it is quite formal. In general, a lot of people won't use it, but I love using it because I don't want to say nice to meet you to someone I've only just met. If after maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes of we've chatted to someone who I've never met, and I think it was nice to meet them, at the end I'll shake their hand and I'll say, it was really nice to meet you. It was really cool to meet you, actually. Really nice. Nice to have met you. Nice to have met you. And that's when I'll say, nice to meet you. But if I meet someone for the first time, I probably wouldn't say pleased to meet you, unless I knew I was going to meet that person for maybe a business meeting or something like that. But if it's a complete stranger, they get a handshake and hi, I'm Jake, how do you do, etc. That kind of thing. So moving on, I've already spoken a little bit about informal greetings. So hi, definitely very, very used. Hey, I think it's hey in a lot of different languages. You can say hey in quite a few. It's the same with English, really chill. You say hey to your friends, hey to start a conversation on WhatsApp or whatever. Would you say what's up to people? Hey, what's up? What's up? I don't think people say that anymore, or maybe younger people do. I don't know. But when I was younger, people used to say, "Sup? How's it going? What's up?" But I don't know if people use that anymore. I know that some people use what was it now? What you saying? Like, what you saying? Like, I don't know. I could be like, what? What do you mean? What am I saying? But it's no, I've used it before. It's like, oh man, you're right. What you saying? It's kind of like, how are you? It rolled into hello. But you'd use that with really close friends, and it's probably only certain people that have even heard of that one. I don't know. Like, I'd heard of it. I quite like that one. What you saying? But I don't say it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. On another note, I quite like to say, "Where you at?" when you're like, "Where are you? Where you at?" I quite like that. Just sounds really, I don't know. It's just casual, but that's not a greeting. So let me get back onto the topic. Remember, it's all about the context, okay? So you can use some of these with your boss, and some of them you shouldn't really. You're not gonna say what you saying to your boss, are you? You're not friends. He's your boss, okay? Or she, you know. You say, use the formal stuff. So definitely remember the context. Here is a personal favorite of mine, okay? So you come across someone in the street, you say hello to someone in the street, right? Maybe you know them, maybe you don't, and maybe it's just the postman. You walk past each other, you might nod, and you'll say, all right. And do you know what the correct answer to that is, right? There is only one correct answer. And you say, all right. You say it straight back, okay? So here you go. All right. All right. That's it. That's the whole interaction, okay? If someone says to you in the UK, as you're walking past them, or it's like a greeting, all right, please don't say, yes, I'm fine, thanks, and you, because most of the time they weren't asking if you were all right. It's just a hello, and they're expecting you to say the same thing back most of the time. So I find it really strange when I say to someone, all right, yeah, I'm good, thanks, how are you? Huh. That's not really where I was hoping this conversation would go. But it definitely doesn't always need a response in that sense. It's a little bit like saying, how are you, right? Because it's like using that word, all right, but you don't need to answer it. Just say all right back, okay? Please remember that one for me, okay? Good. Another really informal one is hiya. And honestly, it sometimes just comes out my mouth. I'm just like, so I'll be like, I don't know, working on something in the garden, or like the front garden, you know, and a neighbor will walk past, and they'll say, hello, Jake, and I'll go, hiya, and I'm just like, why did I say that? I don't know. It's just, it's fine. You can use it, but I think it's just a bit, it's just not my favorite way to say hello. But hiya, it's still nice, you know. It's still kind of like, yeah, it's kind of endearing. It's nice. Endearing is where it's like you want the person to like you like them. It's all friendly, you know. It's endearing. It's kind of nice. Hiya. Oh, apparently up north, right? I'm not from the north, but they'll say hey up, and I can't really attest to this one. I can't really prove that this one's true because I'm not northern, but I've definitely heard of people being like hey up on films and stuff. They might even put duck on the end. Hey up, duck. But again, I'm not northern, so I'm not really sure how much they actually use that one. But I like it. I might have to start saying hey up to me friends. I don't know where it comes from. It's definitely more like a hello than a how are you, though. Man, people used to use yo. I really don't know if they do anymore. I think in America, yo is maybe more common, but again, America's so vast, so huge, so many different subcultures, I have no idea. They definitely say howdy in some places, but again, I have no idea if that's real or if people just say howdy because it's fun. But remember, slang changes over time, so things go in and out of fashion, right? So something people used to say before, they may not say anymore. So check with your friends before you start using howdy with them in America. Just, yeah, obviously things go out of fashion. So apparently, here's a fun one for you. Apparently, the word hello came about because in the 19th century, the telephone also appeared, and I'm not sure how this really relates, but it became the greeting from there. I believe also I've heard that it was ahoy before, like you pick up the phone and you used to say ahoy before hello became a thing. But don't fact check. No, do fact check me on that. Try and find out if that's true. I think I've heard that before, and I'm certain that in the Czech language as well. Yeah, they'll say ahoy for hello. Anyway, I may be really wrong on all that, but I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. I also mentioned handshakes earlier, remember? Apparently, they used to be a way to show or demonstrate to the person you were greeting that you didn't have a weapon on you, right? So you'd be shaking their hand, usually with the right hand, because most people think that you're right-handed, which you are, most probably, if you listen to this. But if you're not, then, yeah, you're one of the exceptions, right? People would carry weapons and use their right hand, so if you shake their hand, then you know they haven't got a sword in it. It's probably a sword back in the day, wasn't it? But yeah, that's a little bit on the greetings, right? In the UK, do we do handshakes? Yes, I would say handshakes most of the time. Don't kiss people here, especially people you don't know. That's definitely not something we do as much. Maybe with family, yeah, at Christmas with aunts, uncles, people you know, family, just kiss on the cheek or whatever it's called, bisou, like in France, but not for people you don't know, and especially not really your friends. Like I'll just handshake everybody, or hugs as well. That's a thing, depending on how much of a friend you are, etc. So yeah, we don't really kiss on the cheek as much as other cultures. I think parts of the US do it more than other parts. I have no idea how Australia do it. I'm just speaking about English-speaking countries. I cannot attest to any of those as much, really. I'm much more comfortable with a handshake for most settings, especially business settings, or work settings at least. Yeah, I would say also, if you watch some of my videos, you'll see me greeting people. Especially if I do an episode. I think I've done an episode on greetings. If not, then I'll try and make one at some point. Just try and observe how people greet one another, especially if you're watching series or if you're listening to perhaps some interviews and things on the street. I might be including some of my greetings at some point. Just try and emulate a copy, what people do, how people greet one another. It's okay not to know them all, because I think we only really use, hello, how's it going? How are you? All right. There's not a load that you need to know. So just learn the main ones and you'll be all right. So, do you have a favorite English greeting? Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. Or have you learned a new one today? Perhaps some of these were confusing, perhaps not. If you have answered yes to any of those, no, that didn't make sense. They weren't yes or no questions. Anyway, if you've got a favorite greeting, etc., if you'd like to share it in the comments below, or in whatever you're listening on, if it's got a comment section, go for it. And greet me, greet others, greet everybody, and let's see if you get a greeting back. Just remember to answer all right with all right, okay? Remember, there's a Patreon where you can get all the transcripts from these episodes, so you can read as well as listen to the natural spoken English that I use. And there's a comment section there, so get involved. Thanks for listening. I hope you've learned something, and congratulations to you for keeping on learning English. That's a brilliant thing. Next week's topic, we are going to talk about free time, which is something we would all like more of, and we need to talk about and listen to more. Right, important topic next week. I hope to see you there. Thank you for your time, and we'll see each other in the next episode. Cheers and bye.